Perfect. So this is going to be a tutorial on how to make a demo reel. And not only am I going to be covering animation here, but I'll also be covering a little bit of other kinds of demo reels that you can add as well. So this isn't limited to just animation. This will also be for, I guess, anyone else who's interested in making a demo reel for a very specific company that they have in mind, or a very specific position for that matter. So really quickly, it really does not take the most sophisticated software to be able to create a demo reel. To be honest, I have literally made a demo reel on my iPhone before. So the most important thing, however, is that you sell yourself. You want to be able to sell that you are the person for that specific job that you are applying for. So whether it is a gameplay animator, a cycles animator, whether you are interested in becoming a layout animator where you're putting things in the background, no matter what it is you're interested in, make sure that your portfolio or your demo reel is very, very tailored to the very specific job that you're applying for. You are not going to send a really cartoony Looney Tune demo reel to say I don't know, a really violent and gory animation studio, or an anime studio for that matter. They'd probably look at it and be like, well, that's cool, but that's not what we do here. So remember, if you're applying for an anime studio, you want to be able to prove that you can do anime style animations. If you want to do Looney Tune style animation, you would tailor your demo reel to a studio that has Looney Tunes like animation in it. So that's the main thing that I want to get across. The main point of a demo reel is to sell that you can do the very specific job that you're trying to apply for. If you just send a general animation reel, it's going to be very confusing to the recruiter, and they're going to choose the person that they know can do the job. So keep that in mind. With that said, let's get started. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly pull some of my animation from, I guess we'll just do it from my sync sketch, because that's where most of my animation lives right now. So what I'll do is, plain and simple, I'll actually take some of the animation that I have done in class, and I will show you how to make a demo reel for your specific, I guess, portfolio from this class. So everyone that's listening right now, please remember, this is not due. If anything, you know what? I will make this extra credit. So remember, it'll be 1 extra point of extra credit. And again, it's to encourage you to do it, because you put a lot of work throughout the semester. And at the very least, I want you to be able to present all of your work in one complete package. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. Now, the first thing I want to do, if you're doing this from Sync Sketch, if you already have your videos uploaded in a file somewhere or a folder, go ahead and use that. If you want to take things from your Sync Sketch account, that's also valid too. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to make sure that I have the illustrations turned off. Please make sure that you do that for your demo reel. And the reason I'm telling you is because if people see notes on your demo reel, they're going to look very confused, and you want to avoid that embarrassment. So remember, you want to make sure that your portfolio is clean and easy to read. The only thing you want the recruiter or an animator to look at is the actual animation. So let's go ahead and do that. So I have my ghosting turned off. I have the visualizations turned on right now. To turn them off, you just need to go to this little I or press V, and it'll turn it off for you. After that, you just have to go up here, click on the download caret. Now you're going to either choose download original file, or you can choose, I believe, download transcoded file. Both are equally valid. I believe both are going to go into the video editor just the same. So I'm going to keep it easy on myself and just download the transcoded file, because generally speaking, it's a smaller file format, at least in my experience. And yeah, we're just gonna go down the line and download basically all of these older animations. So let's go ahead and download this one. I didn't do all of them, so you can imagine what some of them will look like, but let's just download these files. We got the sit to stand back here. Let's go ahead and download that one. And I'm just gonna go down the line and download each and every one of the ones that I want in my demo reel. So we've got that. I downloaded this as an idle example. Let's see, go ahead and download that one. And then after that, I think that's, I forget if this is the one I did. I'm not sure if I did this one or not. So I guess we'll scrap that for now. And it actually works out because we don't want too many videos. I want to make this short and simple. So let's go ahead and close that. Let's open up a new video project. We will call this demo reel. Let's see, it's 2022. So just for the sake of ease and simplicity, we'll call this demo reel 2022. And actually, we should be precise and use naming conventions for this as well. So I'll say Rudy Solorzano demo. We'll call it Anim demo reel 2022. And the reason I'm doing this, just so everyone knows, everyone who's watching, is because when I hand this file to anyone, they don't have to question what my name is when they're opening the file, and they can clearly know that this is my animation demo reel from 2022. So I want it to be as easy for the recruiter to look at it and be like, oh, okay, this is Rudy's demo reel. I don't want the recruiter to have any difficulty in opening up my file or figuring out who it is. So we're gonna keep it at that naming convention. Next thing that we're gonna do is I'm going to add a title card. So, and on this title card, I'm going to, let's see, title card, got this, add some text. Okay, so this is completely up to you. You don't want to be gaudy with your text. You want to try to keep it as simple as possible. Like if I were to do this and then say Rudy Solorzano animation demo reel. That would be incredibly hard to read. Beautiful, but very hard to read. So instead of doing something elaborate, let's just do something incredibly simple, like this. It does not have to be the most beautiful thing that you have ever seen. Keep it simple. So what I'm going to say here, and depending on who you're tailoring this to, if you want to, for this class, you can say student animation demo reel to keep it easy. If you want to make like a genuine demo reel, you're more than welcome to do that. In that case, you want to clearly articulate exactly what kind of demo reel that you're making. So 3D game animation demo reel, or just, in this case, I'll just say the 3D animation demo reel. Below that, you want to put down your email address. So my email address would be rudysoloarts@gmail.com. And then last but not least, what you want to do is, if you have a website, personally, I really don't, I don't have a website other than YouTube, so that I guess I can just go to YouTube. Let's just go to my page really quick, my channel, this, and just put it there. So that way you know, like, okay, this person is this person. They are a 3D animation demo reel. That's what they're showing me. This is their Gmail. Personally, this is very, very, like, this is just way too big. Let me see, I think there's an alternate way to share, but I guess I'll leave that. Let's see, It's about share, customize. So I won't get into too much deal, but one thing that I want you to keep in mind if you're watching this right now is do not make your URL like super long and elaborate, because then it's going to be really difficult for the recruiter to again find out exactly who you are. So one thing that I have done, and I'll just do this here, is I actually sent my demo reels. Let's see if I can sign in like this. Continue as me. Let's see if it's gonna let me sign in. Yeah, sure, I accept. Perfect. Okay. And let's view my profile. And there you go. Okay, so, and if I copy this, if I'm not mistaken, it should be really small. If not, I do know how to fix that. So let's go ahead and go here. So again, I'm not really a big fan of this huge and just gaudy URL link. So let's make it simple. That's way better. So for those who are interested, something that I do as an animator, but again, I haven't updated in years, as you can see, is I've created an art station and I have some of my older projects here. But what I usually do is I'll just copy and paste a link to my specific demo reel from that year. And as you can tell, it's been a couple of years since I've updated it. But you want to make sure that the URL is as easy to follow as possible, because if the recruiter has to copy and paste this URL, it's going to be impossible because it's a video. So you want to make it as easy for them to follow as possible. If I put that entire YouTube URL, they're going to look at that and be like, I don't have the time or patience to find this. So maybe I won't choose this person. That can literally happen. You want to make it as easy for your recruiter as possible. So let's keep that as is. Okay, so that's done for me. One thing that I do want to do is I want to see if I can edit the background color. Make this black. Make this super easy and simple. If anything, like the furthest I would go from black is gray. Keep it as simple as possible, but keeping it simple, I'll just pick black. So next thing that we're gonna do is let's go ahead and add some animation. So let's see. Let's quickly see if I can add from here. Perfect. So let's go ahead and add from this PC. And it should be in the download section. Let's see. Downloads. Perfect. And we'll just upload these 4 here. Open those. Oh, that's fun. So it's reading as it can't be read. So let's go ahead and try opening that again. Okay, so if that does happen, that's okay. So for anyone who is uploading from SyncSketch, please keep that in mind. That might be a problem. However, that's totally fine because I have all of these files already. So let's go ahead and just go into the files. So if I'm not mistaken, a lot of these from CSUF. Get the bouncing ball one. Go ahead and add that. That's perfect. Let's add another one. And for those, actually, this will be even easier now. For those who are downloading from your actual workspace, this is basically the tutorial you're going to be following. So let's see, from idols, I don't believe I did one for that. For the attack animation, I also don't believe I did one for that one. Let's playlist this, perfect. And then I think I'll do one more. Actually, yeah, that'll be much easier. Let's just do one more. So from this PC, last one I believe that I have is, actually no, we'll do 2 more. Yeah, 2 more. Because I want to show you some of the principles that I want to implement if you have 3 or more animations. So let's do the jump, and then we'll do talk to myself really quick. All right, do the run. No, I didn't download the run. That's sad. Let's do this one. Play blast. Sit to stand. And then last but not least, we will have the walk cycle. Play blast. Perfect. Okay, perfect. So, and that works out even better. I was going to do 3, but this will be much easier to articulate with more. So, the general principle that you want to follow when you are presenting your work for a demo reel or portfolio is you want to put your best work first. Always, always, always. That has been the most consistent thing that I've heard from almost every animator, every recruiter. Every single person has always said, put your best work first. You want to start your demo reel with a bang. So if I'm picking my best hypothetical animation, I'm looking, it's honestly between the walk cycle and the jump. But if I remember correctly, the walk cycle was just kind of like meh. And the jump was slightly better. But I'm just kind of putting these in a random order, to be honest. But if I were to actually give these some thought, I think I'd probably do it like this. Oh, that is such a bad ball. That's okay. Actually, that kind of helps with my selling point. Okay, perfect. Actually, yeah, I prefer that. Okay, so now you've got your animations. The first thing that I want to do is I want to put my best work forward. And it looks like to me that my jump is the best one for the assignment. So that one's the best one. I would say the second best is maybe the sit to stand. Okay, second best is sit to stand. And then I want to say the third one is probably, let's see, the walk. So it was only the block out that I did. I guess we'll do this. We'll put this as the third best. Okay, so here is how I'm going to organize this. I want my best one first. I want my third best second. So this is, I believe, the one I said was my third best. This is the third best. I'm going to put this one second, and then I'm going to put my second best last because I still want to end on a higher note. After that, then I'm going to assess how many other animations I have left. And it's perfect. This is not the ball exercise that I wanted to upload, but again, this works out as a perfect example. This is not a good example for me to animate. Hold on really quick. I realize I need to screen share. Don't worry, worst case scenario, this will be a video. So, thank you for mentioning in the chat for Discord. I see it now. Oh my gosh, I've been presenting for like 10 minutes. Why didn't anyone say anything? All right, I digress. For those who are seeing right now in the live chat, this is basically what I'm doing. I am selecting 5 animations here, and I am choosing the best animation that I've done as the first animation I'm going to present. My third best animation for me is going to be second, and then my second best animation is going to be the last animation. So after that, I have my 3 best animations in my demo reel. To be clear, I have seen people get hired with just 1 animation on their demo reel. It can be done. I think it was like an 11-second animation, but it was a very, very good 11 seconds that clearly articulated their ability to do a multitude of different kinds of animation. So keep that in mind. Yes, I'm looking at the Discord right now. Thank you for those who didn't want to be on the YouTube. I'll just be the silly one. All right. So again, quick refresher. First animation is the best. Second animation is your third best animation that you have. And your second best animation is going to be last because you want to end your demo reel with a bang. But remember, you could also do maybe one animation. The main thing that I want you all to remember is it's better to have less but great animations than more and semi-mediocre animations. Because if you have a bunch of animations that are subpar, we're gonna confuse the animator or the recruiter looking at our work. They're going to say like, oh, is this person like really good at animation? Like, why are they presenting this ball like this? So keep that in mind. And actually, if there's anyone in class, I'm not sure if this is my animation or not. If this is your animation, let me know. I don't want to put you on blast. So keep that in mind. So if I was a recruiter, I would look at this animation ball and I would be like, oh man, like this is kind of confusing. I don't know if this is a good animation. So what I would do is have the humility to say, I don't think this is putting my best foot forward. Let me eliminate this animation. And I would much rather have these 4 cleaner animations to articulate my ability to animate. So what I'm going to do is, even though this is blocked out, I think this is still a decent enough animation to keep. So I'll keep that animation. And let's say this comes out to 11 seconds. That's okay. Again, it's better to have less but better than more but mediocre. So now that that is done, one thing that you absolutely don't want to do, you don't want this to be animated. It's like don't animate the title card. So what I'm going to do is, let's see, duration. Let's just make this 1 second. You don't want this to be more than 3 seconds. And there is a reason for this. Recruiters look at hundreds and hundreds of demo reels, sometimes in just a month. So they don't have the time or patience to be able to look at your entire call card. So make it as easy for them as possible. Only make it 1 second long so your animation immediately starts and they can see, okay, this person means business. They're not wasting time on their name or the call card. They're going right into the animation, which implies to me that this person's very, very serious. So keep that in mind as well. You don't want more than 3 seconds. This is a literal thing that I have heard from a recruiter where some recruiter, I forget who it is, but I won't say, they literally make bets on whether or not an animation demo reel is going to be good based solely on how long the card is. If the card is longer than 3 seconds, they usually bet like, okay, this probably isn't going to be a good demo reel. So keep that in mind. You want it to be as short and simple as possible. For anyone who is concerned, like, oh, but are they going to see my name? Are they going to forget about me? No, because all you have to do is go to the very beginning of the video and pause it. And they can see exactly what your name is, exactly what you do, your contact information, and last but not least, the site where they can see more of your work. So keep that in mind. So that is honestly it. That is the bare bones kind of gist of how to do a animation demo reel. So friendly reminder for anyone who's interested in, say, and this will be specifically for people who are probably going to be making a video. If you are a rigging artist, remember the same thing. If you're a rigging artist, you want to make sure that you are presenting your best rig forward. If you have a quadruped, maybe something that's more complicated than a simple biped, you're definitely going to want to show that first. And then throughout the rest of the rigging demo reel, you can have a biped, maybe move and articulate the rig so that whoever's watching can see like, oh, okay, so this is how this is articulating. This is how this moves. This is how this functions. Oh, there's a little weird deformity on that shoulder there. You want to be able to make a video of yourself articulating the rig so that whoever's watching can see like, okay, this rig can be articulated. Same thing, if your second best rig is a quadruped, you want to make that last. And then you're going to buffer everything in between. But remember, same thing, it's better to have more complicated rigs but less of them than a bunch of like little rinky-dink rigs. So keep that in mind. Okay. Last, I want to say this also applies for storyboard artist. If you are a storyboard artist, there are two things that I recommend for you. Option number one is you can create a page, an actual website page, where you are presenting your work on different cards. And that way someone can scroll through the cards and look at them individually and say, like, okay, this person's good at this, this, this. Another option, which also opens up another job opportunity for storyboard artists, is if you create something called an animatic. And an animatic is literally just a series of pictures from your storyboard, but it's moving in a linear fashion, so you can almost like visualize exactly what's happening. So when you play it, you just imagine like a bunch of movement coming in a video. So if you've ever watched an animatic for a movie, it's literally the 2D drawings that you see on the screen that later becomes an actor or a CG character. So if you're interested in storyboard artists, or if that's the avenue you want to get into, I highly recommend creating an animatic where you are presenting your work in a video format so that you can also get a job as a video editor for animatics as well, if that's what you're interested in. So another job that you could totally apply for. And as I'm saying that, one of my students has posted it. Yes, perfect example. So yeah, and actually, let me pull this up. This is a great example. Thank you, Moose. Let me open this really quick.
Grammarly helps you work more efficiently, which makes accomplishing your work goals easier.
This is exactly and even better.
I wish to register a complaint!
So if you can do this, it's even more of a selling point to have you on the team, because not only can you make the storyboard, but you can also edit it as well. So something to keep in mind. All right, so after that, it's literally just a matter of clicking finish video. Personally, I like 1080p. When I am doing a demo reel, I try to make it 1080p when I'm presenting. You want to try to make it clear so that it's easier for the recruiter and the animator to review the work. So after that, just export, and that's pretty much it. Naming convention, we'll call this, again, Rudy Solorzano, Animation Demo Reel 2022. Again, friendly reminder, the reason why I'm using this naming convention is because if I ever share this file with anyone, they'll know exactly who it is that's sharing it, and they'll know exactly what kind of demo reel it is, and they'll know the precise time or year when it was created. So please, please, please keep that in mind. And if you want to be even more specific, just like I was saying to everyone else, instead of animation, maybe you can do rigging. Instead of rigging, maybe you can do storyboard. Just like that. So something to keep in mind. If you're not interested in animation, that's okay. This tutorial is again for anyone else who is interested in presenting their work in a video format. Whatever it is that you want to do, make sure that you clearly articulate what you want to do in your naming convention. Okay? So I'll just keep this simple because this is just for the sake of there you go. We're just going to make this a simple animation demo reel, and I'm just going to put this in spring 2022, like so. So let's go ahead and export that. And cool, it pops up, just like so. Now, if you notice for this one, I didn't put any sound or music. There's also a reason for that as well. Reason being is because, funny enough, a lot of animators, especially animators, and this is what I love about them, animators, generally speaking, will turn off any audio because audio is very distracting when trying to review animation. When all we want to see is the visual, we don't want to be distracted by the sound. So that is another option. You're more than welcome to add some acting pieces. If you have some acting pieces, you definitely want some audio from those acting pieces, if it's dialogue explicitly. If it's just like a simple body mechanics, it doesn't really matter. But you want to make sure that you do have audio from your dialogue piece, because even though they may turn off the audio, they still want to be able to see that you can properly lip sync as well. Something to keep in mind. But that's it for that. After that, this is basically going to be a tutorial on literally everything else that is 2D media. So let's go ahead and check that out. So let's go back to ArtStation. Let's get out of this page really quick and go to my other page, which shows all of the other work that I've done. So again, really good advice for anyone who may be confused about what they want to do for a living. What I highly recommend is creating an ArtStation, especially if you are a texture artist, a 3D modeler, maybe you're interested in layout design, but this is exactly what I'm talking about. I made a graphic design demo reel where I was just like, hey, here's some really old examples of some of my graphic design work throughout my student years. So basically what I'm trying to prove here is that I can create art, I can create kind of graffiti graphics, I can create a blueprint of sorts, and I can create a news kind of render as well. So again, these are student projects that I haven't invested any time in, but this is a clear indicator of what I am trying to show. I am trying to show my ability in graphic design. So if you're an illustrator, what I would say is find out specifically what you want to do in illustration. Do you want to be a character artist? Do you want to be a creature artist? You want to make a page that is explicitly dedicated to what you want to do. So if you have a bunch of stuff like I have here, like this is incredibly confusing for someone who may be a recruiter. They're going to be like, okay, so this person is applying for graphic design, but like, I guess I can see they're also a blueprint artist. Like, I guess that's cool. I just need this person to make flyers for me. I don't need to make blueprints. So even me being able to critique my work now, maybe the recruiter looks at this and says, okay, well, they can do 3D renders too, which is helpful. But this would be very confusing. Now, if I wanted to be a blueprint artist, this would be great, but this would be incredibly confusing. So keep that in mind as well. So for anyone who is interested in 2D, again, quick reminder, you want to put your best work forward and clearly articulate that that is exactly what you want to do. If you want to be a character artist, you're going to want a bunch of character pieces, and especially character turnarounds as well. And even flavor sheets or I forget what they're called, but emotion sheets, I think was what they're called. You want to have a bunch of character stuff. Keep that in mind if you are doing 2D art. Best work, third best, and then anything in between, and then your last one should be your second best work to end with a bang. Okay, now for those who are interested in 3D stuff, but you're kind of more interested in kind of like maybe like modeling or something, this one is more of a proof of concept that I could create things in Unity Engine, but this is also a good example if you want to be, say, a layout artist. So back when I was in junior college, I wanted to create like a really cool island. So I just got a bunch of stuff from Unity and I put it together. If you want to be a layout artist, this is something that you would absolutely want to do, except you would only put this kind of work in this specific demo. So this was my 3D animation / generalist demo reel, but as you can tell, it's kind of confusing. This is just some simple programming that I did. Music, so but again, this was just proving that I could program. Same with this one, a really simple ball game for Unity. So again, actually even better if you're interested in just creating video games. This is a really good example of showing some videos proving that you can program and create a very simple video game. So whether it's layout design, whether it's presenting 2D work for texturing, modeling, environment art, maybe you're making vignettes and little silhouettes, just make sure that your portfolio or your demo reel is presenting the best work first. Your second best work should be last, because you want to end with a bang. And then your third best work can be second. And then literally everything in the middle, everything in between is up for you to decide, hey, I think this would be a great addition to my demo reel for my video game concept. Whatever it is it may be. The main thing I want to impress upon everyone is that you are putting your best work. And one of the best things that you can do is go to Recruiter and ask for genuine feedback. That is exactly what happened for my first demo reel here. And again, another lesson in humility for anyone who's doing demo reels. It's okay for someone to give you savage feedback on your demo reel. Sometimes we actually need that feedback to become better animators or just better artists, period. So I will end on this note. This was my last demo reel that I created after I graduated Cal State College. So even when I was presenting this to a recruiter, they were very confused about what it is exactly. Character animator.
Oh, how are you, Doc? Miss
Yeah,
Fairfax?
Hello, Captain Otis. Oh, I'm sorry.
And then you just see video game cycles, so it was very confusing. So the recruiter basically sat me down and said, hey, fun, really fun that you want to do this. You need to go back to the basics and start animating again. And that was honestly the best advice that I could have ever gotten, because it taught me that there was a lot more that I needed to learn. Timing, spacing, arcs, good posing, composition, all of that helped me become a better animator. So that's why it's also important to create these demo reels so that you can get them into the eyes of professionals who can tell you exactly what we need to do to get where we want to go. So keep that in mind for anyone who's interested in pursuing art, especially in a studio setting. It's very, very important to create a demo reel, and then it's even more important to show that demo reel to a recruiter or to a professional animator. And then last, it's imperative that we implement the notes to create an even better demo reel, so at the end of the day, we can be hired at the studio that we want to work for, as we look at this very awkward face. So keep that in mind. I hope this is of help to everyone. Friendly reminder, keep trying, keep working hard, and eventually you will get there. It's just a matter of not giving up. So thank you for watching. I hope this was of assistance to you, and I hope that you can rewatch this and have this as a reference for future use.